Welcome back to our lovely town of DangerVille, people. Today we're showing our actual faces because we just want to be real with you. We just want to have a nice laid-back conversation about our time at G-Fest XXVI.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, just like you said, just trying to get off a more casual thing, so...
Absolutely, yeah. Right, let's talk about what we think of the city of Chicago. It's absolutely beautiful. I've never seen a city so clean.
It was probably the biggest city that I've ever really been in, I think. I've been in Vegas and I've been in Baltimore, so it was a pretty big deal. I mean, I was a little overwhelmed throughout the trip just because it's not what I'm used to. I'm used to looking outside and seeing...
You're a country boy.
Blue Ridge Mountain.
I'm a country boy, pretty much. I see cows. There's only one stoplight in my town. The population is about 17,000 people.
Yeah.
So when I go to a huge city where there's millions of people and like this big sort of deal, like this was really just G-Fest, and just this trip in general was like... This is a first-time experience for me, and it just kept kind of like catching me off guard over and over again, for sure.
So we're having fun, not editing, and just embracing nature and all this concrete, but also embracing nature. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. It's very different from London as well, the way that things function in America. You know, some things are similar, but I did have to get used to a few things, just like Jacob did, so we were both kind of... out of our elements.
I mean, yeah, you're a foreigner, you're in the States, so it's different either way, you know?
Yeah, some things are pretty bizarre to me. I haven't quite, gotten over some of the things that are different, like the drivers. They don't care if you're gonna die.
No, they'll run you over, man. There's that, and then there's cheese on everything, and there's more
cheese
sugar
on
in
everything. I did get a few funny faces when I asked for a pizza without cheese. Don't hate me, comment section, I'm sorry. We did go to the Field Museum. We saw Sue, the biggest T-Rex in the world, well, until Scotty came along, but
we'll see what
she's
happens.
Wonderful.
Nonetheless, yeah, she's definitely the most
beautiful.
famous, at least at this point, and just seeing their little show that they had where the lights would come down on the different parts of her body, and they would like, oh, she had arthritis in her tail, it couldn't move. We think she died because of the infection in her tooth and all that.
I'm here with Sue, and she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I'd marry her.
That was really awesome. I love museums.
Yeah, we learned some new things about it, which I didn't think was possible.
It was really cool. It was really cool. Definitely worth.
I went to the aquarium because this little country boy went back home on the Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to check out the aquarium by myself, and it was still lots of fun. Saw a seal, saw a baby beluga whale, absolutely stunning things. The weather, absolutely boiling. I was not used to it, and I wasn't dressed for the weather. Wasn't dressed for the occasion.
No,
So with my black skinny jeans and my black top. Actually, this top, which was nice, but took a little bit of getting used to.
For sure.
On the Friday was the main day that we were doing everything on. So we went to the hotel first thing to get our little badges. Things that say our name on it.
Yeah.
So we did all the orientation, we did the sign-ins and everything. So we got everything pretty much sorted, bang on the Friday, so we could just enjoy the rest of the week freely. And it was very busy, a lot busier than I thought it would be. So many people packed into a small space.
Yeah, it was very much overloaded with people. Probably a little bit too much. Definitely, probably. It didn't help that the air condition was having issues too, and it really felt like a big boiling room of people. Everybody's body temperatures were up and excited for getting into the dealer room.
There could have been some more fans there. Spinny fans.
It could have been something, man. It was rough. I mean, by the time Sunday came around, between waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and not going to bed until like 1, and then doing that for like days, multiple days over and over again, and then the heat coming down on you, I was just like, oh,
it was tough, but like,
out.
That was like, I was still excited nonetheless. Like, there was so many fans there, all wearing Godzilla shirts. Such a bizarre thing to see, especially if you're in a place that doesn't traditionally have that kind of enthusiasm or fandom towards tokusatsu or giant monsters or kaiju, anything kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, it was a different experience, and I absolutely loved it. And that's just the Friday.
Yeah.
That's nothing, like, none of the panels are on yet. Like, I didn't get to see some of the big names or the other YouTubers there that and already it was obviously a good first impression, just a little bit too hot.
A little bit too
hot. And maybe they could have used a bit more of a focused line, because it was more like first come first serve rather than organized line. But I don't know if that's just Americans or if that's just the convention.
I don't know, but they were on top of it with a whip. That one lady was like, "Get in the line!" line! You're gonna do it!
Get in line! Yeah, it was like the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. It was amazing.
It was awesome. It was funny.
Yeah, so on the Friday as well, we went to see King of the Monsters at the Pickwick Theatre, which was a
awesome experience.
Completely different experience than anything I've had before.
It was kind of mind-blowing. Even for me, it was like, I've been in packed theaters with people that clap at the end of the movie, like, good job, but obviously everybody there already probably seen the movie, so they knew it was coming, but it was...
Which was probably for the best.
Yeah, it was probably for the best, because there was people going crazy.
I wouldn't have wanted that to be my first time seeing
pretty much every single change of scene, like the transition from one scene to another, it was like a woo, and it was like, all right, hell yeah,
like Kyle Chandler, yeah.
I mean, it was cool though. It was just nice being with. I mean, there had to be a few hundred people in there, and just everybody just hooting and hollering, and
it was packed. It was a packed. Yeah,
theater. And it was a big theater
absolutely.
Too. So
yeah, and people were like, people were saying it had a bigger cheer than like anything from their Avengers Endgame screening, which obviously says something about how passionate the fans are to Godzilla and the films.
Yeah, it was awesome, very cool.
Yeah, so we obviously got that tweet that famously Mike Doherty and Bear McCreary retweeted, where they were saying they were tearing up at the sight of people loving the film and loving the soundtrack,
just getting so involved
and singing along to Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla, the song. Which was amazing.
Yeah.
Lovely. I mean, it's so good that we can leave this kind of impression on not just other fans, but the people that make the films. You can tell they're so passionate about it that if they're reacting that way...
It definitely meant a lot to them.
It meant a lot to them, which is
good.
Which is why we're such a good community. Which is why I love this community.
Yeah, and that night also ended. We also met a couple really good friends that we became really close with throughout the whole trip. George, we're still looking for you when we come to Arizona. Talked about that tattoo stuff and all that. So
yeah, the free tattoos they promised. Yeah, so we also met Titan Goji, also known as Davis.
Yeah,
I probably should have said that the other way around. But yeah, no, Davis has a YouTube channel called Titan Goji. We've been talking to him for a while before coming to the Chicago. It was really cool meeting him. He gave me these copies of Attack on Titan, both the first and the second one. So thank you, Davis. I'm going to watch them today.
Yeah, Davis is a real cool guy. Go check his channel out. Like, I didn't know he was 19. He was holding himself like an adult.
19? Yeah, he looked like Thor.
I thought he was like 23, 24 or something. I mean, he's a good guy, but he's young, and he was holding himself really good, and like, just the way how he handled everything. So definitely go give him a check out if you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll probably put a link in the description, so definitely go check that out. Let's talk about the Saturday, because the Saturday's where all the juicy bits happened, which is they opened up the dealer's room, which is why a lot of people actually go to G-Fest to just spend thousands of dollars on collectibles, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful site. There was Godzilla shirts, Godzilla figures, vinyls, comic books,
so much
posters
from all over the decades too. Yeah, there was stuff from King of the Monsters all the way back to like Showa stuff. That like, I mean, I don't even know half this stuff was like around, but it was like, it just shows you how much Godzilla has really been like a part of everything.
I got a chance to buy a few things on the day, most notably this beauty. This only available in Japan. I managed to find one. I went there with the intention of buying things that I wouldn't be able to get in the UK. So I got this, served by the wonderful Nathan, who gave me $20 off it, actually. And a shot of this like Japanese drink, this alcoholic Japanese drink.
Sake.
Is that what it's called?
I believe it was sake, pretty much liquor.
It was very nice. It was very peachy. It lingered. The aftertaste it lingered. It was actually quite tasty. Gave me this beauty, so thank you. And he also said I have a nice accent, so you know where to find me. I also bought this beauty from Godzilla 2000, Mega Gearus, I think. Look at that. Beautiful. Again, very rare. I'm very happy I picked it up. you know how hard it was to fit this thing in my bag back to England.
Yeah, how did that work?
Very
out
difficult.
for
You could just see the spines. You could see the spines sticking out, and it was like, no, what's that? Nothing. Not spent $200 on Godzilla figures.
Yeah, you weren't. The 200 was nothing. I heard people saying they spent over $1,000. So
I'm not that rich, unfortunately.
yeah.
But it was great. Going into that room, I've been wanting to go to G-Fest for like over 11 years, I think. I went back and just looked at some of the older G-Fest videos and saw a comment I made on one of my older YouTube channels saying, "Oh, why won't they bring G-Fest to Britain?" Obviously, it didn't matter in the end because I just went there myself. I'm not going to sit and wait for them to come to England because that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're just now making a big push in the States, so you're going to have to wait maybe another 65 years before they go across the other ocean.
And as we heard from members of the community, or just people there in general, it was supposedly their biggest yet. I think anywhere between 4,500 to 6,000 people were estimated to have gone.
Yeah, they said something about maybe 3,500, but I heard them say more than that while we were actually there. But it's hard with these
We don't have any numbers just
to
yet,
actually
but
get
it was
the
a
actual
lot.
numbers until it's all done, so...
So it just shows you the impact that King of the Monsters had by just releasing at this time.
Yeah, either way, it was the biggest one they've had, so it helped. And it felt like there was a lot of people there. You couldn't walk without doing this number. So it was cool, yeah.
Definitely. We're not just there for the dealer's room, especially. We're here for the people that have panels. Where there was some we're really excited for, some that were really good. The Dawn of the Monsters panel I was personally really excited for because it's a brand new kaiju game and it looks like a lot of fun. The trailer looks really cool. The team has been doing a great job at kind of translating the comic book style with like the goriness of something like you'd see in Adult Swim, like Samurai Jack.
Yeah. It caught me off guard, really. I wasn't. Indie games, you don't know what you're gonna get.
I told you about it, but you were like, "Nah, it's not really that thing." It's like, oh my god, it looks really cool. Yeah, it was really
cool. The like as soon as we walk in there, they put out the trailer. Music was good. The action was good. It gave me a lot of Doom and God of War mixed with like Mortal Kombat, which are like three of my favorite kind of games. Just thrown into a side-scroll sort of comic book thing, and
it's co-op as well.
It got me excited.
Thank God they're still making co-op games.
Yeah, co-op too, yeah. They made a big point about how they really want it to be co-op and they're not trying to put in microtransactions, which is usually a bigger company thing anyway, but I thought it was cool. I'm excited to see more about that, so good luck to their team and their work, for sure.
Absolutely, and the same guy made a history of kaiju games where he talked about how they've changed throughout the years. That was really interesting as well. I didn't even realize there was a Rampage arcade game that released alongside the 2018 movie. Check that out today. It looks really interesting. It looks really cool. And then there was the history of unmade Kong films, which was also really cool because they talked about like the old Conan Doyle films and how that kind of changed across,
how filming was done back then and just how just all the different stuff they had to go through and just the different world that it was back then. They'd be like, we landed on this island with some giant reptiles that were probably like Komodo dragons and all that. So they were like,
and
so
they just reused the models from the cancelled movie just in the King Kong movie. So without having some of these cancelled movies, we wouldn't have arguably one of the biggest names in movie history.
I ended up getting the original King Kong while I was there too, and this it's really awesome.
It holds up.
Surprisingly holds up for 80 some years or almost 100 years old, and it felt like I was watching a movie from the past 20 years or something. It was way ahead of its time, and it makes sense.
It looks better than the 70s.
Makes sense why it started a monster genre, really, or elevated.
Yeah, Kaijuzilla played his film. Machino, we watched what we could, but there's just so much there that we couldn't stay through all of it. I've seen it before. It's really cool. I'm happy that other people could enjoy it on a bigger projector, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he was a cool guy just running around with his camera the whole time anyway, so...
Yeah. He's got us dancing in one of his vlogs, if you can see it here.
Thanks for having us dance around, man.
That was funny to take part with. He was really cool.
Yeah.
I think the most impactful panel that everyone took away from it, though, was Akira Takarada's panel about his life, his acting career, the Godzilla franchise, and how it's affected him. And that was close to bringing a tear to my eye. That would be a phenomenal film in itself.
It was really touching. I felt like I knew him my whole life because he was just, he was just opening up. He's 85 years old, I think, and he was just letting it rip. Giving his emotions and all that, and telling us how World War II affected his life when he was a kid, and just like all that stuff. And I was like, this guy is awesome first, and then like he needs a movie about his life, like all that stuff. And I really liked how at the very end he was just like, all I want to do pretty much before I go is I want to be in one more movie with Godzilla, and I want to look him in the eye and just kind of like fade off.
Yeah, he wanted to like wave goodbye or something.
I really appreciated just being in his presence. Such a cool
like
guy.
He was shot at like 11 years old.
Yeah.
It makes you think, like, what are people complaining about these days?
Yeah, I know. Like, you're complaining about stuff on the internet, and he had a bullet in him for like 2 weeks, and then a doctor took it out with scissors in like the 1940s
no anesthesia.
or 30s.
So he felt every cut. Absolutely,
It's crazy. Yeah.
Gut-wrenching, but amazing regardless. That's some of the other panels that we were there to take, to listen to, but we weren't there just to listen to other people's panels. We had 2 panels of our own. The first one that we took part of was the King of the Monsters panel on Saturday, which was both Jacob, I, and Nathan Merchant, where we just talked about the critical reception and our responses to the film Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Like, we filled out the seats. There were people standing because there was no more seats. The audience was just so enthusiastic towards us, and some things we were saying. King of the Monsters. Let's start off with how many times we've seen it. Let's start off at the end.
3.
4.
2.
8.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting all that. That's for sure. We were both being like,
yeah, we expected like half the seats to be filled, maybe.
There would be half the room. We'll just go in there. We weren't like, no one was like prepared for it really. We had a little something just to make sure, just because we didn't hear anything, and so we went into it being like, hey, let's have a good time, and
yeah, most of that was unplanned, so I'm happy it turned out the way it did.
Go with it, and it ended up being a real blast, and it was fun, and it was just a crazy experience, and just the fact that people were there, it just blows my mind, because it just was.
I'm still reeling in the fact that everyone clapped for anglerfish.
Yeah.
Like, they look like something that you'd find very, very deep down into the ocean. They obviously got designed from like what are those fish that like use their yes. Clap for the anglerfish. Yes. That was hilarious. Well, you can hear me at the beginning saying there are so many of you, because I wasn't expecting it.
It was cool. So. That was fun.
Let's move on to something a bit more positive, which I think most people can agree on is the monster designs. Did they do a good job? Do you think they did a good job? The audience obviously says no. Yeah, I really enjoyed that panel. We were there for a second panel on Sunday, which is probably the main event where people were there to see us, which was the YouTubers panel with D-Man, 954, Tokusatsu Vlogs, Titan Goji, Kaiju Noir, and there were some others in the audience that were obviously watching us that have YouTube channels like the famed Goji Fan 1993.
Seen you, Omni Viewer. We seen you too, man.
Omni Viewer, yeah, we saw you there. I know you were trying to hide, but I saw you. And obviously there was us at the end. Which was a really interesting panel. We learned a lot of things about some of the other Godzilla YouTubers that were there. I showed Walking with Godzilla, which I was quite nervous because even before releasing it online, I was worried whether people would like it or not. But people were really enthusiastic towards that as well. They were like clapping towards points in the films, like when the Mewtwo showed up or when Godzilla ate the Tarbosaurus. And that put a little smile on my face. I was really happy that that happened. Obviously, there was a bit of a technical hiccup. The projector wouldn't turn on, which was a bit frustrating because we missed out on a few potential questions.
Yeah, we didn't want to add any sort of headache with that.
We could have never anticipated that happening, unfortunately.
So, sorry to that.
And we did get a few questions in, luckily, but not as much as we would have liked. We didn't enjoy that as well. But for the most part, that the whole panel went down really well. Good, big audience. A lot of people were happy to see all the Godzilla YouTubers there, so that was really exciting.
DangerVille is the best anime.
Thank you. I agree.
You know, we love seeing everyone there. You know, it was really different than anything we've been a part of before.
Didn't go there expecting people to come up to us and, you know, want to like
Yeah.
take quick pictures with us and all that. Like, I'm just a dude from a small town. I don't get involved with like
Yeah.
internet and crowds all that much. So, but Nathan came and he like gave us good words of like wisdom and kind of advice, and it meant a lot. And, you know, just
Yeah, I really liked him. He was really cool.
yeah.
He, you know, like you said, he liked my accent.
Yeah.
You know, he was a sweetheart. He gave us a hug, and I was like, I'd happily call him my friend.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
The conference was great. I loved it. It was a very different experience. Being surrounded by Godzilla fans was a thing of beauty. I really liked it. So, you know, I think we should probably close off the video by saying whether we will come next year. And my answer is absolutely. I would love to come next year.
Yeah, if everything works out good and everything's still going fine and all that, sure, I'd love to go back again, you know, if they'd have us, you know, so that'd be really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to say one thing before we do go as well. Thank you, Gino, at Gino Draws on Instagram, for giving us these freaking awesome posters and just being a cool guy in general, so thank you, man. Big shout out to him. Go check out his work.
Awesome. Look at that, it's beautiful.
I have
I'm
a,
definitely gonna have it framed somewhere.
Yeah, I just bought a frame for mine, Gino, so it's coming in, and I'll make sure and let you know. So thank you, man. It was awesome. Thank you.
Survive the journey.
I'm keeping it
Survive the
secret,
journey.
and I'm keeping it safe until that frame comes. I don't want my cats getting it.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see, because I want to see how people react in the audience to watching Godzilla vs. Kong. That's going to be a sight to behold, whether people are booing or cheering or just appreciating the film. It's going to be interesting to see.
It's gonna be awesome either way. So it was a cool start of seeing the world, you know, that Godzilla's in, and just being a part of it. And that's really what we wanted to do. Is just, you know, we make videos about Godzilla and other things. It's not the only thing we talk about, but you know, it's a big part of it, especially around right now. And we really wanted to see that hardcore, really deep side of it, and be involved in something with you guys, the fans. And the fact that so many of you came up to us and, you know,
Said
treated
hi,
us
you know,
like
had a
people
conversation
and
with us.
said hi, you know, like we're just two guys, so like we're not anybody special really. So like, just the fact that you came up just blew my mind. I was not expecting any of that. Like I said, I am gonna go hang out with my goats after this. I'm used to that. So it blew my mind in so many ways. Alastair, thank you for making me feel comfortable and safe in something that was completely out of my limit. So thank you for helping me out on that. For sure.
I love you.
I love you too, bro.
Right, let's end this video on a high note. You know, we love it. We loved the conference. We loved everything about it. 100% go again. And hopefully the weather's as good as it was this year, and I'll definitely bring some shorts this time.
Yeah, bring some shorts. That was crazy. I'm
Yeah.
happy I had shorts.
There was a random piano like by the roadside at one point. I hope that's still there. I hope that shows up again. That was
Oh
fun.
yeah, some other hotel he just started jamming on. I was afraid that thing was just gonna blow up at any moment or something, because it was like very
An exploding piano.
you never know. As I said, I'm from the woods, man. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, it was a really cool experience. It was really great to see you guys there. If any of you are thinking of coming next year, absolutely do it, because we will most likely be there as well, and hopefully have another panel and show off maybe part 3 of Walking with Godzilla, because I'm hoping to have part 2 out by around Christmas time. So for you, any of you asking when it's going to be released, probably around Christmas time. This stuff takes work.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, even if it does have PS2 graphics.
Especially for just pretty much Al doing it, you know.
Thank you for watching our video on our thoughts on G-Fest. It's been lovely seeing you today. We're DangerVille, and we'll see you in our next video.
Peace out, guys.